You got it. Help me.
Number 20, Brendan Falone. Though Christopher Moltisanti was never the model of wisdom and good decision-making, he was practically a sage compared to his friend Brendan Falone.
That's enough. No, wait. Scathed.
In the first season, Christopher and Brendan get into some trouble after hijacking a truck. But while Christopher learns his lesson, Brendan decidedly does not. A subsequent stick-up has fatal consequences, and Brendan is caught off guard by Mikey Palmi while taking a bath.
Hi, Jack. Bye, Jack.
The mix of tranquility and brutality in this brief scene is mesmerizing. Brendan's time on The Sopranos was brief, but it was memorable all the way to the end. Number 19, Detective Lieutenant Barry Hadu. We may never actually see Christopher's father, Dickie Moltisanti, at any point during The Sopranos television run, but the impact of his death on his son is greatly felt.
Are you inferring that you didn't take cash from Jilly Ruffalo to whack my father while he was carrying a TV tray for me to watch TV?
I don't know anybody named Ruffalo.
After being told by Tony that his father died at the hands of cop and part-time hitman Detective Lieutenant Barry Hadu, Chris seeks to avenge him. He accosts Hadu in his home, taunting him as he's bound to a stairwell.
You're being set up. He's lying to you, whoever he is.
Wouldn't make any difference.
What do you mean it wouldn't make any difference?
He wants you dead.
The just-retired detective vehemently denies any involvement with or even knowledge of Dickie, and the show keeps this deliberately ambiguous. No matter what the answer is, this episode shows what an empty pursuit seeking revenge is.
Police? In a Ferrari?
Number 18, Tracy. Death scenes on The Sopranos already have a tendency to be grim and disturbing, but this one is especially harrowing.
Ralphie, I love you.
I love you too, baby.
Tracy was a dancer at the Bada Bing who was involved with volatile mobster Ralph Sephorto, whose child she's also carrying. An argument in the parking lot turns violent, culminating in Ralphie savagely beating Tracy to death.
That's right. Get it all out. Get it all out, you little hoa.
The sound is devastating, as is Ralph's utter lack of concern or remorse about what he's done. Tony immediately retaliates, and if it wasn't for his status as a made man, Ralph might not have survived much longer.
I'm a made guy!
But none of this should distract from the tragedy of a young life being cut short in such a senseless manner. Number 17, Rene Lur. This death is less about who dies and more about who's responsible. In the episode Soprano Home Movies, we learn that Bobby Bakalieri has never been tasked with taking a hit out on someone.
Now, come to think of it, you never popped your cherry in that regard, right?
No.
That changes after a game of Monopoly turns vicious, and Tony, never one to let things go, forces Bobby to knock off Rene Lur, the brother-in-law of a Quebecois gangster.
You'll take care of this, right?
Sure.
The business reason being a substantial discount on expired prescription medication. But the personal reason is Tony showing how he can and will exert his authority at any sign of disrespect. Though Bobby clearly does not want to go through with this, he also knows that he has no choice in the matter. Number 16, Bobby Bakalieri Sr. Speaking of Bobby, his father also found himself carrying out a hit at the behest of Tony Soprano's ego. After Mustang Sally attacks Vito's brother Brian, his godfather, Bobby Sr., agrees to take him out.
I only stood up as a favor to his father.
Well, I'm just saying, because this isn't the first time.
You do whatever you gotta do.
But the chain smoker is in poor health, with a recent lung cancer diagnosis. Tony refuses to budge, and Bobby Sr. carries out the hit. On the drive back, however, he's seized by a coughing fit and crashes his car after being unable to retrieve his inhaler in time. It's likely that he didn't have very long to begin with, but Tony's order started a chain reaction leading to a particularly undignified death. Number 15, Jackie Aprile Jr. DeMeo crime family boss Jackie Aprile Sr.'s life was taken by stomach cancer early in the series run, but he lived far longer and garnered much more respect than his son.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go back inside.
While it seems like he might be able to avoid the family business through education, he can't stay out of trouble. After a botched attempt at robbing a card game, he goes into hiding.
Yo, I think you're done for.
We just started.
But it isn't long before Veto Spata catches him off guard. Jackie Jr. is dead before he even has a chance to realize what's happened. And this lack of alertness, along with many other shortcomings, exemplifies why Jackie Jr. wasn't cut out for the world his father thrived in. Number 14, Dominic Fat Dom Gamiello. Fat Dom is partially responsible for a tragic death we'll learn about later in this list.
Hey, sorry to hear about your boy.
And if you believe in karma, his death in the very same episode was a swift instance of the universe quickly making an example of someone. Of course, you could also attribute it to sheer arrogance. Visiting Silvio Dante and Carlo Gervasi, Dom begins running his mouth.
They found a hanky and Carlos lipstick in his other pocket.
And the already tense situation reaches a boiling point. Both Silvio and Carlo unleash maximum fury. Dom might have not been the most memorable character on The Sopranos, but his death is one that we'll never forget. Number 13, Matthew Bevelqua. Desperation for respect and recognition in the violent world of The Sopranos can quickly backfire on you, as Matthew Bevelqua soon learns.
Relax. I just want to talk to you.
It was Sean. You gotta believe me, it was Sean. He got nuts.
Matthew, like his partner Sean Gismonti, was a low-ranking crew member trying to climb up the ladder. So they attempt a very poorly planned hit on Christopher, leaving Sean dead and Matthew with a huge target on his back. He's caught and left pleading for his life before Tony and Salvatore Bump. Briefly, he seems to think he's received a reprieve, but right after, he's crying out in desperation for his mother.
Oh, Mommy! Mommy, please, Tony, please.
It's a heartbreaking moment that brought added dimension to what could have been a surface-level character. Number 12, Mikey Palmi. It might seem hypocritical in a show full of unrepentant murderers and other criminals to mourn some deaths and celebrate others, but Mikey Palmi wasn't exactly someone who deserved to be grieved.
Yeah, okay, I think that I heard you already.
Go take a Midol.
As Junior Soprano's consigliere, he's loyal to no end, including helping him plan a hit on his nephew Tony. Unfortunately for Mikey, Tony survives. And Mikey is killed during a jogging excursion by Polly Walnuts and Christopher, who's also seeking vengeance for the death of Brendan.
My friend Brendan, you shot him in his bathtub naked. No chance to run.
Oh, I swear to God, it wasn't me, it was Junior. He hated that kid, it was him.
The two arguably go overboard in how much gunfire they unleash, but we can also understand just how much ire Mikey inspired in them. Number 11, Johnny Sack Sacrimoni. Lupertazzi crime family boss Johnny Sack was rarely seen without a cigarette, so it wasn't surprising that he died from lung cancer. While serving a 15-year prison sentence, Johnny learns of his diagnosis, and any hope of living as a free man again is effectively dashed.
At this point, we're looking at stage 4 small cell carcinoma of the lungs.
And this is not stage 5.
That's correct.
Unlike most others on this list, he has the privilege of dying surrounded by loved ones, with his family gathered around to help ease his suffering. Not ready to say goodbye, his beloved wife Ginny offers him a cigarette.
You want a cigarette, baby?
But immediately after, he's gone. Being a mob boss, Johnny Sack arguably wasn't a good person, but the poignancy of his death cannot be denied. Number 10, Fabian Petrulio. At its core, this show is about Tony balancing his duties to his family with his duties to the mob. Few episodes demonstrate this better than College.
Oh yeah, did she like Bates? Because anything to get her off of this Berkeley kick.
On a college road trip with Meadow, Tony happens to cross paths with an ex-member of the DeMeo family, Fabian Petrulio. Entering the Witness Protection Program after serving as an informant, Petrulio now goes by Fred Peters.
He went into the Witness Protection Program, then they kicked him out.
Now he goes to colleges and gets paid all kinds of money to talk about what a big bad mafioso he was.
Taking a break from parenting, Tony tracks Petrulio down and garrots him from behind. Although Petrulio was a one-shot character, his death reflects a facet of mob life. No matter where you go, the mob always catches up to you.
You took an oath, and you broke it.
This doesn't just apply to Petrulio, but also Tony, who can't go a few days with his daughter without whacking someone. Number 9, Veto Spata. Vito is another character who couldn't escape his former life, but unlike Petrulio, we came to empathize with Vito over multiple seasons. A closeted gay man, Vito is forced to go on the run after being outed.
Right. Sure. Say hi to your wife.
I'm serious. Sal, please. Don't say nothing, Sal!
For a brief period, he's free to find love with a cook affectionately nicknamed Johnny Cakes. This isn't happily ever after for Vito, as he heartbreakingly leaves his lover and tries to slip back into his New Jersey life.
I know, look.
Not a word, not a note. What kind of person are you?
I'm sorry.
It's not that simple, however. Phil Leotardo, his wife's cousin, is infuriated to learn that Vito is gay and orders his death.
One thing I do know. Vito has to be made to face his problems squarely.
Although Tony makes arrangements, Fat Dom and Jerry Torchiano beat him to it. Vito committed numerous crimes, but being himself was not one of them, making his death especially tragic.
Vito, he was found beat to death this morning in a motel in Fort Lee. My cop up there told me.
Number 8, Bobby Bakalieri. Bobby was sadly among the many casualties that Season 6 brought us. Despite being a criminal, Bobby was one of the show's most sympathetic characters.
You know I never asked you for anything. You could tell Tony I'll do it myself if he wants.
He only committed one murder, which is low for this show, and was always faithful to his wives. Bobby was perhaps too kind-hearted for the mob world, but at least he died doing what he loved most, shopping for model trains.
You never see a blue Comet in that condition. I mean, look at the coaches. Every window still lights up.
If that train still ran New York to AC, Atlantic City would be a much different place today.
If only Bobby had had his phone on hand, he would have gone to a safe house instead. The last pleasant sight he sees is a blue Comet train. The hope that this new toy represents is dashed as Bobby is gunned down, much to the horror of the audience, the fellow patrons, and the little folks on a train set.
Bobby's dead. He's shot. Sil's in the hospital.
What happened?
Could be several things.
Number 7, Richie Aprile. Richie wasn't the first significant character to get axed, but his murder demonstrated just how unpredictable the Sopranos can be. We find Richie at his most despicable during a dispute with Janice, who argues that her fiancé should accept his son whether he's gay or not. Richie responds with a punch, pushing Janice to the edge.
And what if he was gay? What difference does it make?
As Janice goes for a gun, the hungry Richie isn't all that fazed. Likewise, the audience doesn't expect Janice to go through with it. That makes it all the more jaw-dropping when Janice shoots Richie mid-sentence, followed by another fatal shot to the chest.
I'm in no mood for your... Ow.
1 minute you're at a wedding dress fitting. The next, you're calling your brother to take care of your fiancé's body.
What do you mean you can't say?
No, I can't say now. Think a minute, okay?
All right, just stay right there. I'm gonna be right over.
Mob life, right? Number 6, Phil Leotardo. Vito's fate is just one of the reasons to loathe Phil Leotardo. We had to wait until the final episode for Phil to get his comeuppance, but better late than never. What's more, Phil couldn't have died in a more satisfyingly painful manner.
Bye-bye. Wave bye-bye, Grandpa. Bye-bye, Pop-Pop. Bye-bye.
At first, Phil's demise seems straightforward enough as he says goodbye to his wife and grandchildren at a gas station when Walden Belfiore sneaks up on him.
Tell the goddamn pharmacist to call Dr. Iaconis. I should get a 60-day supply of the plat.
Even if Phil had survived the 2 bullets, the missus still would have made the fatal mistake of not putting the SUV in park. Although we don't see what happens to Phil's head, the sound alone is enough to make us cringe in delight. It is easily the best product placement for Ford we've ever witnessed. Number 5, Ralph Sephorto. Ralph was such a destructive character that he was bound to face lethal retaliation eventually. We're kind of surprised he survived as long as he did. For all the human lives that Ralph took, it's a racehorse's demise that proves to be his undoing.
It just went up.
Fire marshal says it looks electrical. They found pieces of a blown-out light bulb in a stall. and the hay was a natural accelerant.
It's never confirmed if Ralph burned Palmi's stable to collect the insurance, but Tony presumes he's guilty. Tony decides to confront Ralph, and in typical Sopranos fashion, things escalate quickly. Before Tony knows it, he's standing over Ralph's dead body and enlisting Christopher to help clean up the mess.
Go to the drugstore. Get 2 pairs of surgical gloves, some bleach. Come to our friend's house. A contractor.
We love how Tony initially plays innocent in front of Chris, although it's obvious what happened. The only thing more obvious is that Ralph was wearing a toupee this whole time.
I don't wear a hairpiece!
Number 4, Tony Blundetto. In any Deadpool, Steve Buscemi's characters are always a safe bet. Tony Blundetto is no exception. Tony B's death is etched in stone after he whacks Joey Peeps and Billy Leotardo.
Turns out somebody got to look at the guy that did Joe Peeps. All they got so far, she's got a bad limp.
One way or another, Tony Soprano knows his cousin is a dead man. Thus, he decides to do the deed himself, sparing Tony B from a slower, even bloodier demise while also keeping the peace.
I want you to promise it'll be quick.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Tony, I don't have to. Phil's gonna do it. And he'll do it his way.
Although it's the best solution Tony can think of, it doesn't make this hit any easier. Tony B was a member of his biological family and his crime family, the two things that Tony cares about the most. It's tough watching him go, even if it was a little confusing having 2 Tonys around. Number 3, Salvatore Bump. Cats may have 9 lives, but the same does not go for cat burglars. After Richie died in the previous episode, it became clear that no character was off limits. Whereas Richie's death caught us off guard, Sal's demise had been building ever since he was revealed to be a rat. Tony has a difficult time coming to grips with this betrayal, but he ultimately accepts that his friend needs to sleep with the fishes. Lured to a boat, Sal's worst fears are confirmed as he's taken below deck.
Let's go down below, check out the mahogany. Come on.
As a sign of their camaraderie, Tony gives him a final drink and a moment to share a dirty anecdote. Tony doesn't allow him to sit down as they open fire, though. At least they avoided his face.
Not in the face, okay? Give me that. Huh?
Anyway, $4 a pound. Number 2, Adriana La Cerva. Sal wasn't the last FBI informant who met a gut-wrenching end. Unlike most of the other characters on this list, Adriana didn't have blood on her hands. In the DeMeo crime family, though, being a mole is the deadliest sin imaginable.
She lied to me. They wanted to arrest you too, Christopher. I was just trying to protect you. They said all they wanted was some information and they would leave us alone. I didn't tell them nothing.
After Adriana confesses to Christopher, his loyalty to the family trumps his love for her. Silvio picks up Adriana, telling her that Chris attempted to take his life. In his own way, Silvio also tells Adriana that Chris will be fine after they put her 6 feet under.
He's a strong kid, Chrissy. He's tough. Very resilient.
As they go for a drive, the look on Adriana's face suggests that she knows what's coming. Nevertheless, nothing can prepare Adriana when Silvio pulls over and drags her out of the car before firing. Number 1, Christopher Moltisanti. Being the final season, we knew that any prominent character could die. Christopher's death still broke all the rules, however. Whereas most major deaths occur during an episode's climax, this one happens towards the beginning. It comes out of nowhere, much like the car accident that leaves Chris in such a dire state. The crash doesn't claim Chris's life, but his substance use disorder does. Seeing a destroyed baby seat in the back, Tony realizes that Chris's daughter would have died if she'd been there.
You gotta get me out. I'll lose my license.
For years, Tony looked after and defended his nephew, even when he was at his worst. Knowing that Chris will never stop using drugs, though, Tony gives little Caitlin a chance to live by suffocating her father. TV deaths do not get more harrowing. What Sopranos death sticks with you the most? Let us know in the comments.
I'm not afraid of death. Not if it's for something.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.